this morning. All right, we are live. No? Nothing? All right. Let's start at the beginning. Atish. Oh, Subodh said he was going to be 30 minutes late. Atish, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Happy Wednesday. Give us some good news.
Uh, I solved a couple merge conflicts.
Okay.
Uh,
Did you solve it or did you use cursor?
no, it was neat.
All right. Nice work. Nice work.
Yeah.
Is this for the chat agent?
No, this is for the population stuff.
Oh yeah. Someone was asking about other populations earlier today. I forget who. I think
Mm-hmm.
someone emailed me asking if we had other countries.
We are at 20, um, but still working through the endpoint. Yeah.
And are we? You're doing these by hand still?
I was never doing it by hand. I mean, well, okay, I have to run them one at a time, I guess, if that counts as by hand.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Nice work. And they're in dev.
I mean they're in Supabase, but I have to like still finish my code to like expose it to our API.
Got it. I see. Okay. Excellent. Nice work. Nice work. Um, any blockers? Do you have any blockers?
Just need more time.
Time. All right. Yeah. Right. Time is like the ultimate blocker, I guess. Um, I will go. I have been finishing the outreach for kind of the cold folks. We have everything in Finta, and now we're starting to do the warm intros. That's actually going well. Like, typically the experience is I'm going to one person and saying, hey, can you introduce me to this guy? This is what we're working on. And then they say, hey, this is really interesting. Here's two other guys I think you should meet. So I kind of feel like a clown for not doing these warm intros sooner. But that being said, we kissed a lot of frogs and we really kind of polished like our pitch, our materials, our deck, our financial model, our go-to-market by going through this process of going to like the D list and C list investors first. So I kind of like that. I got this in the mail yesterday. This is Quirks. It's a market research magazine, okay, for market researchers. The first page, right? These guys get why they're effectively a clone of Listen Labs, and then here, right? I don't know if you can see there. No synthetic data, right? That's like inside cover. That's their differentiator, is that they're not synthetic, which I think is quite interesting. There's a list here. I'll send this list out. This is on the last page. Typically, this is like, an op-ed or something. It's the index of advertisers. So there's a lot of advertisers here. These are kind of the startups, the folks kind of with a little bit of capital, the folks that are doing stuff a little bit different. I'll take a picture of this and share this with the group, just as like a, so we can get a sense of the market. I don't see anyone on here that we should be scared of. Maybe Ipsos. Let's see. Let's kind of want to see what this new product is that Ipsos has. But yeah, but it's a nice set of groups. It like half of the groups advertising or like other conferences, which I think is kind of funny. It's a little whatever. The blocker for me is I I don't really have any blockers right now. I would like to ask the group if we could gently consider focusing more on the user experience going forward. Um, the experience that I'm having showing people the app is, I think a lot of folks are getting kind of intimidated by it. We also seem to have quite a bit of churn, um, which is scary because the churn is like the number one driver of enterprise value in our financial model. Like going from 5% to 10%, like more than halves our enterprise value. So the churn is very 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 expensive, and the more the more dependence we have on um, outbound sales or BDRs or account execs, then the more sensitive the business becomes to churn. I ran into a company the other day called LTV.ai, lifetime value.ai, and there's kind of two metrics that most CPG folks care about. It's LTV, the lifetime value of the customer, which is effectively minimizing churn, and CAC, customer acquisition cost. And so we can argue that our two big use cases, lead scoring is optimizing CAC, and product design, or even message testing to some degree, is maximizing LTV. Um, and so a lot of these products also I'm noticing are quite simple. So I would like to propose that we focus a little bit more on like the streamlining our experience and making it really, um, not a lot of clicks, not a lot of decision making, not a lot of kind of, you don't need a lot of knowledge to use the application. I think a lot of people get like scared and intimidated by the application. And so like a year ago, we had a 2 minute experiment time or like a 90-second experiment time and a high Spearman R, and I'm assuming an even higher Manhattan distance, and a high R squared. So if you think about our business of like maximizing time to insight, they would type in the context of the question, I'm feeling lucky, and then within 2 minutes they would get a high R squared and Spearman R. Now we got rid of the I'm feeling lucky button. It takes 10 minutes to get through our experiment design. It takes 15 minutes to run the experiment, and our R squared and Manhattan distance and Spearman R are worse. And so I'd like us to consider kind of going back to the basics, which is maximizing the time per insight. We can leave the ability for the users to make modifications, but let's think about really kind of simplifying. And if we could get that, if someone could pick up the chat agent. We have another person working on the chat agent as well, but I'd like to have two versions of it so we can kind of measure the pros and cons of both. Tushar picked it up, but Tushar is out of electricity. He's on like the northwest border of India right now. So if someone could kind of pick that up from him, that would be really helpful. That would help with the interpretation as well. But yeah, those are my blockers: churn and simplicity, which is the most difficult thing. Chin. I forgot I was leaving.
Yeah. Um, Thanks, Avi. I've been working on right. I was working on my issue 1343, which is redesigning, uh, adding like a new tab in the experiment overview card that kind of takes all the information and attempts to summarize it. Um, so I have like all the scaffolding for that, and I have like a dummy prompt. So I have like two. I've made the changes in the front end as well as the back end. Um, but Yeah, I mean, we still need to do, I think, a bit of fine tuning with the prompt to get like really, really good results. Like right now, uh,
What prompt are you talking about? Sorry.
uh, so there's a prompt that kind of takes
What
all the
problem are you
information.
solving? What endpoint?
I built a new endpoint. The problem we're solving is we're adding like a new tab in experiments overview card that uh does a better job at like giving us an answer to the why prompt,
Oh
using all the
yeah,
information from
right.
the
The
results.
the summary of the
Correct.
report. Yeah.
Yes. So I have all the scaffolding and I have like a prompt, but I just feel like the prompt can be further developed. So I'm suppose that's kind of directed Florian to like take this further. So I'll be onboarding him uh to that like after the standard probably. Yesterday I also helped support with another task
This
that
one 1343.
let me look at your screen.
Can
Yeah,
we
it was
just can
1343
we
though.
is this in dev? Do we have this in dev? Just whatever you have in dev right now.
No, there was no PR. It's just two branches that I've made changes in. So no PR yet.
Can we get whatever you have into dev? Can we just push this to dev? Just in whatever quality it is.
Uh, I'd like Florian to. Is there a reason you wanted to dev so quick? Like,
No, I just want to make sure we're like. I just want to make sure like every day or two where everyone's doing PRs. Because what happens is when we wait like days or weeks to do PRs, then merging becomes a nightmare and
yeah. So,
Madi goes
I mean,
blind.
it's like up to date to like today because I like I work with stashes, so I always like every time I pull from dev, which I do often, I just like resolve everything and on my end
Oh,
before I even
good,
commit.
excellent.
So it's like very up to date. So I prefer like Florian like take a crack at this and then just like fine tuning. So I'd say there's like two things, just like obviously fine tuning the prompt, and then right now every time you expand it, it makes the call then, and I don't think we really cache the call. So there has to be like a bit more optimized way to do it, because if you like
Way to do what?
close it and then so if
Close
you like
what?
close the uh the overview, we're in stash experiments right now. If you like close the overview of the card, if you
Oh,
close
it
card.
reruns it.
Exactly. So we should like cache it or like we should probably even like do it somewhere else. Um, but yeah, that's so it's those two things really before we can get into dev, in my opinion. But
Can
yeah, I'll
you
talk.
right now what do we use for caching our experiment results?
I'm not entirely sure because I don't think we make actually that's a bold statement. I don't know if we make any LLM calls to generate these results in the slash experiments page. I think we do in in the analytics studio, but I'm not sure we do. Like we just generate graphs for feature importance, feature level importance, and stuff,
We
right? We don't actually make any calls.
we use weights and biases artifacts,
Yeah, but
right?
we kind
Weights and
of
biases
construct them, right?
artifacts is the system of record for is our data store.
Yeah, yeah, we could like, yeah, we could just every time we open it, it runs, and then like we add it as an artifact to that run, I guess, on 1TB.
Can you maybe sit with Tatevik and maybe she can she can walk you through how we do this, how we do the analytics. There is an analytics workflow that we have. It's quite robust at this point.
Okay.
And that way, if you use the existing weights and biases um, artifacts workflow, then all of the downstream systems, this chat agent, for example, um, can use the same pipeline instead of having to use a new pipeline for whatever feature it is you're building.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like the right way to do it. Um, yeah. So, yeah, that's one thing, and then I also like there was like 191 outreach emails that were like left. So I just sent them out because I don't want to waste them. We were kind of waiting on like trying to iterate it, but I think just wrap that up, and I just sent the last of it out, and yeah, let's see. Maybe someone like replies with the second half of the experiments, but yeah. Um, Besides that, uh, yeah, I mean, that's kind of everything I was working on. Yeah, I think that's really it. So
Okay, great, excellent.
yeah,
Nice work on the on sending out the experiments.
yeah,
That's very nice. I would love to review, if you want in a demo, maybe today. I would love to review the statistics on those emails if you have them. Open rate, delivery rate, whatever, response rate, if that's easily available.
yeah. I think you can view like metrics like that on SendGrid directly.
Okay, let me know.
Um,
We'll circle back at the end of stand up.
so
Eric. Oh, Eric's on pause. Okay, Florian.
No, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
here.
yeah, yep.
I can jump in.
Yeah,
Good
let's do
afternoon.
it.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. So let's see. We hit a home run with Saudi. So I think it's going to be one of the largest accounts we've ever had. So that's exciting.
What's the dollar amount?
And well, I think it'll be either advisory and enterprise level.
What's
So
the dollar
it'll
amount?
be up there.
Do you have an estimate? Like a worst case scenario or
Uh,
a range?
500,000 as a pilot.
Really?
But I'm going to have Pablo.
No, we don't have price yet, but it'll be. We have real verbal appetite from an executive at the company. They're putting us directly in their 2030 plan. You know, they want to. They're literally in the next session going to share their database of client data, their CDP, and in particular around their sponsorship initiative. They want us to dissect that, implement that to create our synthetic agents off of it, and then they're going to share a whole North Star metric against it.
Yes.
And we already kind of showed them here are the myriad of different options that we can leverage for you in delivering value, right? We have the platform at the business tier, enterprise, advisory, etc. And basically, where they're leaning and what they've verbally said, this is a core priority, is enterprise and advisory solutions. But again, we have no price point yet. We're getting there. It's a big ship, takes a little bit of time to move, but you know, really, really, really positive meeting, and we already have the points and the action plan for the next session. The goal of this meeting was to tease them and have that next session. He's inviting other members of his department and team, allocating more resources and sharing more data with us. So very, very positive signs.
Nice. Nice.
I just want to let you know, I gave all that information to Pablo. It's like a ventriloquist thing. Everything Pablo said is what I meant to say. So I just see how I did that. Next time I'll drink water while Pablo talks.
Very nice work. Very, very nice work. Can we get 20 more clients like that?
We have Millipore, which is a big pharmaceutical vendor. We have a Millipore meeting on Monday. So the answer is, yeah, why not? Why not?
What's your blocker to getting 20 more clients like that?
I need like 4 BDRs to be out there bringing it in. What's my blocker? I don't know.
How do we
I don't
get?
know. Yeah. I mean, I need, we need to ramp this up. I need like 5 Eric Schwartzes, right, to turn this so I can replicate what I do to others because we just need more feet on the street.
Is there a way? Okay, if it's finding 5 Erics is impossible. Is there a way we can do get inbounds to help you?
Give me more information on that. Inbounds. What do you mean? Like marketing?
Well, hold on. So can you see my screen?
I can.
Hold on. I'm gonna share this link. This is from Listen Labs. Hold on. Let me just post this link. The right answer. Why not? Yeah, exactly. This is what they said. 1,000 inbound leads since launch. Chin, I'm looking at you, buddy. Our founding AEs back to back for the rest of the year. And then this is what they posted. So, like, how do we get your calendar to look like this? I guess this is more of like a marketing question.
Well, our product is not, if I was selling carpet, I could probably load it up. But our product is, so, for a business, I'm at the 1-2 punch, get them in, get them out, get to the decision maker. I mean, it's a multi-process, so as you talked about it before, like we're sort of identifying how to bring efficiencies to the whole selling, to the whole process. And so I think these meetings are identifying where we can button it up. When we go to the Millipore meeting, we can cut a lot of fluff. We know exactly. I think this gave us some good signs on how to make us, better at this. But I don't know how to fill up a calendar like that without getting multiple people. But getting leads isn't.
We're talking different things, right? Like Eric and our sales team, they do direct outreach. They're hunting. Avi, I think what you're describing is a marketing thing, which is, how do we generate leads to come into us? One is a push method. Another one is a pull method. Where my head is, let's get really buttoned up around our formula and our motion, right? We're getting close there, but we still don't have it yet, right? Once you have that formula, then you add fuel to it, right? Then you scale that formula. But we need that formula. And so that's what we're working on. Just my thoughts.
No, Pablo speaks with Eric. So whenever I can't complete a thought, I jump. Pablo he completes me.
To give credit, Eric came and delivered this with us. He's much better than I ever could be at generating opportunities. The signals are there. The proof is there. We're really excited. The goal is to continue to learn from Eric. I think that's what Avi is pointing to. And then, scale that, right? Eric's capability, his magic, etc. How do we scale that so that we can have 100 of these types of conversations? That is the absolute goal. And I agree with it. So let's keep going. Continue to empower.
What was the role, Eric, of the meeting participant, or of the Saudi guy?
Chief Marketing Officer.
Perfect. Excellent. Beautiful. Nice work.
Yeah. Thank you.
Florian.
Hello. Happy Wednesday. So what I was working on is what I worked on yesterday is a problem that we had with the real life products endpoint, which is we always generated price and brand, and this shouldn't always be the case because there's a lot of scenarios where we don't need price and brand. So I worked on fixing that, and then also ensuring that we had the right amount of attributes when we remove the price and brand from the survey. So if the user wants 5 attributes in the survey, we don't give them 3. So after that, I'm going to start working on 2 things. One is what Shin said, is helping with the new chat ideation thing. So I'll talk with him after stand-up to get up to speed on that. And the other is what Subo just recommended to me, and which I'll talk to him after stand-up as well, is When we generate new traits or when we have traits selected that we don't have data for, we just assign them in a uniform distribution to our respondents. So what Subodh recommended that we do is we ask two LLMs based on the
No,
existing
no,
traits and the
no.
distributions, what can we with confidence infer that they could have among the respondents, and then
I don't
keep
want
the
to.
ones that are confident and remove the ones that aren't.
I don't want us to spend any more time making the model smarter. I don't think that is our bottleneck. I don't think our quality of results is suffering. Like whether or not we use latent variables with a uniform distribution or pulled from an LLM distribution or from a you know GAN trained on existing data. Like I don't think anyone's going to notice that. I think that's important at some point, but I think let's look at the tickets. Let's look at the tickets real quick. Okay, activate LLMs via Azure endpoints. Is this done? Are we now
Yeah,
on Azure?
done that
This is
already.
done, right? Okay. I okay. Asynchronously update analytics.
This is done in the back end, but in the front end, we still need to add like an option for people to actually use it.
It's fine. I'm gonna move it as done. I'm gonna move it as blocked then. Blocked on the front end, but it's mostly done. This is done via API. Via API need UI. Well, I don't know if we need that. This is done in the back end. Back end not done programmatically. At some point, we'll need to make it run programmatically. Okay, transcription pipeline. This is
This is
backlog.
done, but this is done for the most part, or for one part of it, not the part where we scrape their AMCE values, but the part where we define like all the attributes and everything, and like the trait population and the traits of the population and so on is done.
Excellent. Excellent, 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 excellent. Okay, so this is done for the traits, but not for the experiments. This is done for the traits, the persona traits, but not the attributes and levels. Is that what you said?
No, there's two files in the human baseline. One is like a .json file and one is a .csv. The CSV is the one that contains all the AMCE values.
Yeah.
This is the one that we don't have. The .json we do have, containing all like the relevant setup of the experiment.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. This is not done for the AMCE graphs. And did we check if Microsoft's kernel memory works for that?
Yeah, I did that a while ago, and I set it up on a Google Colab folder because we didn't have it like integrated into our systems, and it worked very well getting the AMCE values.
Okay.
But I never integrated it into our actual system.
Got it. Okay, no worries. Beautiful. All right, we'll put that on the backlog. Beautiful. Florian on fire. Kotamon deployment. This is done, right? Or this is abandoned?
I'm actually not sure.
Abandon this. Abandoned. Beautiful. Growth hack using Vertex creds, large scale credit outreach. This is done. I am so impressed, Florian, that you and Chin got this done. This is like unbelievable. Is it possible, like now that we ran these 400 experiments, the 400 real life product experiments, and we're not getting a lot of traction on the outreach, can we just post them publicly and say, hey guys, add them to our library and anyone can search for them? I don't know if that would be a benefit or not, but we shouldn't hide that work because that was good work. Okay, and so Florian, you said you were working on the chat dependent variable design. Is that what you said?
Well, yeah, it's the one that Chin was mentioning earlier, so I'm actually not entirely sure because I still have to debrief with him. Yeah, I think it's the business focus results interpretations.
I thought you were mentioning that you had like you were having like a dialogue with the user to define the experiment.
That's actually what I thought as well, but now I'm not entirely sure.
That's the one it is, Florian,
Ah, okay.
Is
not
that,
this one.
do we have a ticket for that?
I have no idea. I mean, it's already done. It's just a matter of fine-tuning the prompt a bit. So I'm not sure if there's a ticket for that.
Wait, so that was 1343, right?
Is it?
The first one that we were looking at? This one?
No. I was talking about the chat-based ideation, which you mentioned, Chin, that we have to incorporate history a bit also into that. So it requires a bit of fine-tuning as well.
Wait, do we need the history in this one as well, in 1343? And like you said, there's like 3 or 4 pieces of information.
Not in this one. Not in this one.
No, but what about like roles? You said like that might help us answer the question better, right?
Oh, so once the experiment is finished, right, you will have one final statement which will only have one role. It will not have multiple roles.
Okay.
For which the experiment was done.
But the singular role we should like bring into this too, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So that is also left to be done, I guess.
It's not, because eventually when the chat-based ideation does happen, those roles and everything will be part of the Y prompt itself. So you don't have to fetch them from anywhere else.
I see.
Yeah. So, okay. So, I think you guys are working on different things. I think you're talking about two different things. Let's do one thing at a time. So, Chin, this 1343, right? The results interpretation, that happens at the end, right? Once we run the experiment, that happens at the very end. Okay. The chat experience, in order to define the experiment, that's kind of all the way at the beginning. And I don't think we're really there yet. I think Mehul put together something that I think works well enough for us at this point. Right? Unless that's what you were thinking about changing. Okay, and then Florian, what were you working on?
Sorry, when do you mean?
What are you working on? What project are you working on?
Oh yeah, so I mean, right now I didn't really have any tasks assigned to me, so I was trying today to find some, and the ones I mentioned were the ones that I will be working on.
Can you share them again? Sorry. Do you have the ticket number?
Well, the first one I mentioned with Chin, I'm not entirely sure which one it is anymore, so I guess we'll talk more after the stand-up to figure out.
Yeah, and there is no ticket for that, right? That's what Subodh said right now, so we should probably...
There is no ticket for what? Please don't use pronouns.
Yeah, Subodh, could you...
The chat-based ideation.
Ideation.
Yeah, don't worry about chat-based ideation. That's not a blocker. One thing that we do have that we're like on the 2-yard line is we do have a chat-based interpretation, which is not at the beginning, but that's also kind of at the very end. Also, kind of what Chin is working on. We're kind of playing hot potato with that because we had like one person working on it and then another and like it's kind of getting passed around and nobody really wants to like, work on that. But Florian, would you be able to take us? Would you be able to take the most recent stab at rescuing us? I think Mahdi was able to get a version of the chat interpretation working on his local, but I don't think he was able to deploy it.
I mean, you mean the work that Ambuj did, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems to me like the problem is held up in the front end, right? Like that one PR he made was made in holodeck. That was pretty messy. Um, I mean, I can give it a shot, but I'm not really like the expert on the front end, so I don't think I would be the best one to do it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the front end is where we have a lot of our bottlenecks now. It's the interpretation. It's the making things kind of simpler and easier. If you can't do it, that's not a big deal. Is there something else you'd like to work on? That makes the user experience significantly better?
Well, I don't have anything particular in mind right now, but I don't know, I can start running experiments and see like what changes we could make that could improve it. If nothing like immediately comes to mind for anyone.
I mean, QA would be important. QA would be very, very important. Okay. Okay. Let's sit down afterwards and with Subodh and let's go through it. Joaquin, my friend, what are you working on?
So I was actually looking at Chin's work on the token probabilities and trying to integrate it, but it seems we're seeing some issues there. And I also talked with Subodh. I think the decision for now is kind of like shelve it until I don't know when, but we can try to see at some point whether it makes a difference or not, but I think Subodh's intuition was that, just asking the LLM for the probabilities we give the same or minimal difference results. So for now, this will just be in the backlog, and we'll see in the future whether we'll do something with it or not. But it's I think it's a really nice idea. It's just right now I don't think it's there, and I think you're leaving, right, Chin, at some point. This.
Oh yeah, Chin. How long you away for, and where are you going? Better be somewhere fabulous.
Just the West Coast, like Yellowstone and like Las Vegas. I mean, Yellowstone is in the West Coast.
Are you gonna go to the Sphere?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I don't know all the details. I just let my brother do the planning, and my mom, dad, and me are just like, okay, just going along with it. But yeah, I'll be back on 22nd. But yeah, we should have a conversation on like what's next, because I graduate tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, commencement is tomorrow, so it's crazy.
Amazing. Wait, did my air horn come through? Did that come through? Because I didn't hear
It did.
It did. All right. Congratulations. Yeah, we need to have a graduation party.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sorry, no, I get like the whole. I feel like with regard to token probability, it probably should not have been. I'm gonna reiterate this, that it should not have been like implemented with statement scores, because I feel like that kind of killed its prospects. Because I still feel like it is the right or like the accurate way to do it, but yeah, probably not worth investing time into right now. So yeah, I agree with Joaquin and Subodh in that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I would really love for us to focus on improving the user experience, improving the insights per minute, right? So if we can find a way to get the same quality insights or even slightly less insights way faster. I'm noticing that we're losing customers because it's taking 10 minutes to design an experiment now, and it's taking 10 minutes to run. Whereas in the previous we had an experience where it was, I'm feeling lucky, and in 2 minutes you got your results, and they were not meaningfully different. I don't want to argue that they weren't meaningfully different. The market simulator is meaningfully different, and that takes a little bit of time. But I'd really like us to consider ways to get the experiment length down back to 2 minutes and get the experiment design time back down to 10 seconds.
Mm.
It's
and
it's probably an impossible ask, by the way, but
I mean, also speaking with you, Avi, I mean, I realized that, there's really a need to have a more global view of this, and so I think I've said this before, but I think I'll start, trying out the platform more, maybe speaking with Pablo, because as far as I know, he's the only one interacting with customers. And I feel like, it's a need right now that we have to, have more of a bridge here, because as we talked, as we mentioned, like, I don't think the technology is the issue. It's really, I mean, we really need to figure out why we're not having more clicks on the website, and why are customers stopping to use the platform if the churn rate is high. And maybe
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
and so I really want to meet the needs of Subconscious.ai right now. So so I'll try to explore that side a bit more as well. Maybe talking with Paolo. I think we haven't really spoken one to one.
Do you have in general, we try not to do one-on-one conversations. In general, try to talk in groups. Do we have the motivations, effects, and attitudes API in Dev?
Yeah, it's there. I need to speak with Sport also about that. We were trying to see whether the hard scores and probability scores were matching, just to make sure everything is right. But we need to talk about the next steps there. It's still off.
Ignore the probability scores. Just get it into Dev and get it functional.
No, it's already in Dev. We just need to. It's the flag is off at the moment, so it's switched to false. So we need to. I'll speak with Subodh, and we'll align our priorities there and see what's.
Okay, so is that this ticket, the theory of planned behavior ticket?
No, I don't know what that is.
Is it the attitudes and perceptions ticket?
Oh, I think it was an older. The initial ticket it was you that wrote it, I think. Checks to improve. I think it was this. Checks to improve subgroup variability, maybe. Create latent variable. The latent variables, yes, it was in there.
Oh, okay, all right. So that's kind of the same thing. That's the attitudes and perceptions API. All right. And does that show up? Did you test? Did the new latent variables show up in the experiment at the end? Do they show up in the analytics?
No. This will require synchronizing also with Tautavik, and we're just using it as additional persona information.
That's great. But if it's additional persona information, if it's coded to the interface that we use for persona definitions, it'll automatically get into the back end.
Oh yeah, in that sense it is. I mean, it's going through the flow. If we switch the flag on, what do you say, Subodh? I mean, it's in the pipeline. It's just that we're not providing any specific information, especially with regards to the latent variables in like the output.
For now, we can just let it work in the third tab of traits, and it's fine. People can see something that it's going through.
Yeah, it's close enough. It's close enough. And then
we'll test it.
Okay, beautiful. And talking to Pablo, I think, is also excellent. I think everyone should be talking to Pablo and Eric about customer feedback and simplification. Joaquin, you have very good instincts. Lucy.
Hey everyone. So I have been working on the next webinar we'll be doing, and I was working on it with Pablo, trying to figure out like a plan of attack. Yeah, just building some ideas and writing like a plan on that. And also what we are doing is trying to get back to our usual blog post newsletters that we will be sending out like maybe each week for new updates or any events we'll be doing. So yeah, we're still working on that.
Okay. Excellent. Great work. Marty.
Yep. Hello team. Happy Wednesday. So I have been working with Subut, which Subut will explain. Other than that, worked on AWS, which I was able to solve the networking issue, and I will show a demo at the end.
Very nice, Monty. That's going to be a $250,000 benefit. You find us. Nice work. Oh no, now people are all jumbled up. Oh, I did this wrong. Okay. Mia.
Hi everybody. Kind of like Lucy said, just getting back on track to like regular posting. And we want to revamp and start getting more daily on, weekly on our newsletter as well. So just getting back on track basically, and going back to regular programming because school's over. So.
Did you and Lucy graduate?
I don't graduate for the next like 3 semesters, and I think Lucy still has more. I think. So.
Did you guys finish the school
I
year?
wish. Yeah.
Okay, that counts. Congratulations. Nice work.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nice work. Pablo.
All right. Had a really good meeting today with Saudi Airlines. Probably the best hardcore institutional, big deal type of conversation we've had. That's just from my perspective. I've probably had many. So really positive that we've laid the groundwork for the first time for an enterprise/service deal. Really, really, really a good position there. I think the latest assets that we created, kind of reframing go-to-market and what we offer, how we offer it, etc., is definitely working. Really, really resonating. We had a clear also plan of attack. So as the customer, the chief decision maker, the CMO was kind of like navigating, okay, who are you? What do you do for us? How do we value? We had a very, very compelling response to every item. We had assets, supporting us as well. And also a special thanks and a shout out to Subodh, who took his time and actually contributed, and it provided very credible perspective and a very simple intro to Subconscious and how it works straight from the source. And I think that was really powerful. So thank you, Subodh. We also, I think, are building out a playbook for how we approach these enterprise kind of deals. And that is kind of like part of the motion of like replication. How do we, it's not just generating these opportunities, it's about also how do we execute and close these opportunities. And I think we're building out a very strong playbook for that. So very optimistic there. It's a playbook, by the way, that we're also building in conjunction with Gartner and WWOF and some of these other bigger deals that we're working on that are very, very new. And so it is really resonating. The other thing is we have several. I think we have like probably 10 seats currently being in trial in our platform, in our production environment. So, my ask now, and I'm going to be more strict, going forward, since we have a real attention from real companies, real people. We're talking Frog Design. We're talking about another strategy consulting agency. We're talking about, WWF. This was surprising, but they're actually a prospect is literally jumping in. We're gonna have Saudi Airlines. Like, these are Fortune, like, hardcore massive companies. We need to make sure the platform is now always stable. There's no other excuse. Like, we have to have a bias towards that. There are a few bugs that I've reported yesterday. So that is coming from some of these prospects. So I just want to make sure that that's always top of mind. But really exciting stuff. I really see things really tilting very much in our favor, and I can tell because it's getting easier to pitch, easier to land meetings, easier to land the next meeting, easier to get feedback from people, and so that's usually an indicator that things are heading in the right direction. So good work for everyone. I'll pause there. Yeah.
Nice work, Pablo. Suppose, are you feeling better, Pablo? Do you have long COVID?
I don't know, actually. I am feeling better. I'm feeling more optimistic.
Okay.
I probably need so later on today I'm gonna go to the dentist, and immediately after the dentist I will pass out, and I'm gonna try to sleep like 12 hours. I need solid 12 hours to kind of pass out, but I am, again, super excited. I couldn't sleep because I was excited about Saudi Airlines. They have incredible goals of owning the air, and we are going to be part of that conversation. And by the way, we're talking about multiple seats, multiple departments, not just marketing. We're talking about huge campaigns. It was a great convo, and it all came from them, not us. That's what's crazy.
And the other, just to let you know, Pablo, is that they are going to introduce us to other verticals within Saudi Arabia, within the kingdom. So there's going to be the communications people, there's going to be construction. Anyway, so I'm not counting the chickens, but Pablo, you did a great job, and Sabod, awesome. You guys were really awesome.
Awesome. Good. I'm done.
Nice work, guys. Joaquin and I were going through our our customer graph this morning because, Joaquin was asking very good questions about customers. And we have this like sublinear growth. And it's like at this early stage, exponential growth does look sublinear. But you get one or two customers, especially with enterprise, and then the whole world changes. The story with one of our large competitors that just got a big check was, they had one customer with a 7-figure deal, and they were able to raise, 8 figures in capital. So I think it's, as long as we're doing the human experiments, as long as we're running the human experiments on our platform, which, is a little bit of a stretch, but I think we can get there. I think it's totally reasonable for us to be able to ask for that amount of capital to run an experiment. Subodh, you're up. Good work this morning.
Thanks. What are we doing? Wait. Yeah, I remember now. So, like Joaquin mentioned, the latent variable is in the dev. For the concept testing, I'm waiting for Tushar. So whenever Tushar will finish his UI part, we will be done. It's already part of it. Like you can run from the through Swagger and get the concept testing done as well. And we also added some more stuff so that we can better figure out if a variable is continuous or not, those kind of things. And yeah, then there's basically some bug issues that we had fixing. So yeah, that was pretty much it this week till yesterday.
And so the two big features that we are rolling out in the next release are the concept testing and the latent variables.
Latent variables, yes. Yeah, remember now we also made some change yesterday. So now if you type at least in dev a question and then click continue and not the brainstorm so that you can get some suggestions. Now the suggestions should be to as much as it could be will be such that you will require a real world product. So we kind of merge 2 or 3 different kinds of tests. We are doing it into the one big so that everything passes through. So if the question can be turned around, it will do it. And we did see some, and then based on that, Florian had to make some changes into the real world product so that not all the time brand and price needs to be shown, but the other aspects can be. So that should make the experience more realistic. And then now on the ideation, based on some of the things I was thinking. So now in the ideation based, the chat based ideation, what we do at the moment is literally the same as the causality. Like you type whatever your problem is and we give you one question. I'm going to change that to something like this. Okay, if this is my problem, break it down into like 4 or 5 sub problems, and for each problem so that I can run an experiment. So now the suggestions will not be like, okay, similar looking 3 or 4 experiments, but experiment pretty much in a descending order from where you should start to where you should go. And each of them, and together they all will cover will help you answer the question you are asking. And let's see how it performs, because if we are able to do that, then we can literally run like multiple experiments in one go. We could easily do that. All I need from UI is, okay, here are my Y prompts, and give it to me in the back end, and we just run in the loop.
And beautiful. And then the interpretation question, when it comes to interpreting all those reports, we load up all of the
so I think
artifacts.
Simon's going to start working. Is he?
Yeah. He was supposed to be here today, actually. Let me ping him again. Oh, ready to start on Friday. Just kidding.
Okay. So, I mean, once Simon is done, then just a matter of feeding all, let's say if there are 6 experiments to be run for a single problem statement, we just feed all the 6 outcomes. And it hopefully reasons and provide answers.
Amazing.
And there's one more thing we'll do. I mean, again, it's more UI enhancement than anything else. We already have an endpoint where you can simply ask for, okay, if this is the Y prompt, give me the relevant traits. So instead of having only the fixed traits in the traits page, we are going to show at least 4 or 5 dynamically now, depending upon the question, so that it also feels to user that something is happening, like
I love that.
something relevant. We already have the endpoint. I'm just waiting for Tushar. If and when he's back, we can just connect and display them dynamically.
Florian, would you be able to step up and help in Tushar's absence? You want to learn? You want to learn UI stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to give it a shot. I don't think I can do it as well as he could, but
do you use Cursor?
I do.
Okay, well, you might be surprised. Okay, excellent. So Subodh, and now for the concept testing and for the latent variables. It sounds like they're in dev, but there still may need to be some analytics work with both of those work streams.
So if we simply have to show them as a one additional trait and display the AMC graph, that will not require any further change because they will just be part of the list that Tatavik receives. So you can do it. But to really model them the way they should be, that's going to require some a good change the way we do our analytics.
Okay. Okay, but in the short term, we have a hack. Yeah. Okay. Great. As long as we keep. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying. So based on the kind of work we have to do for the Saudi, if we will probably get, because they have already told about they're gonna get us in touch with the people who manages the data, and we will actually have to generate a lot of these latent variables and do a proper modeling. So I think in that process we will have our code done as well. So it's kind of a good situation to be in.
Right. I love when users drive development. It's a magical experience. Beautiful. Is there anything that you have as a block or Subodh that anyone can help with?
No, I don't have blockers. I already talked to Florian. There's a couple of prompts requires fine tuning, which he will do. But in terms of what I'm doing, nothing major. I'll see if I have to spend a little bit time on some other latent variable stuff. Then I might assign the data integration part, which Atish has done, to Florian then, because that's just like making sure columns match and accordingly gets passed through.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I think we skipped Hadi. Hadi, are you back?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome back. Hadi, we need your front-end expertise.
Okay, in which case?
Well, why don't you give your update? Why don't you give your update first?
Okay, so since Monday, I was reviewing what I have been doing so far for refactoring the code and fixing some bugs. And yeah, because we need to review the AI code. So it turns out it's fine. Well, initially it's not fine. We need to like interrupt manually. So what I was really like worried about was whiz step, and it's fine right now. Like I give it, I reviewed myself and also with the AI. Let me put the cursor review with whiz step. Yeah, it's in the chat.
I'm not following what. Oh, who step? Who step? Okay, I'm sorry. Full analysis
Yeah.
of the who step.
Yeah, this one was a bit complex. The other steps are the same pattern, no issues. Yeah. So
Oh, this is
today
good.
after
No major anti-patterns are present. Nice work. That seems like a good review.
yeah, and today we'll review and merge. It's almost like 79 files updated. Most of like a few of them, or maybe like 5, 6, related to refactoring plan and memory banks. The maybe 70 files changed.
Wow. This is
Yeah,
this is an opus level piece of work, Hadi.
the reason files are a lot because we have smaller files, manageable files.
And are we done with the refactoring, or are you going to continue or perform the same refactoring for the other steps?
Well, we are done for the ideation flow, creating experiments. For like experiments page, showcase page, still I need to do it.
Got it.
Yeah, but
Um,
those are not difficult.
well, but the experiments page and the showcase page are going to be blocked because of the lack of pagination and weights and biases, and it's going to be slow no matter what. I feel like the reason those two pages aren't performing is not because of us. I could be wrong.
I didn't fully get it. You're saying something wrong with pagination right now and
No,
experiments and
well, I'm saying the experiments page and the showcase page. Those are probably good enough. Um, would you be able to maybe work with Florian and Chin and Subodh on some of the UI components? Um, there's there's the new um, there's the new not ideation page, but the new concept testing page that we're a little bit stuck with integrating because we don't really have a lot of like relevant UI skills on the team, with the exception of yourself and Tushar. There's the integration of the chat interpretation agent that Ombuj built, where we're having difficulty getting that loaded into the UI. Um, there's um, there's a new analytics piece of work that Chin put together, interpreting the results and getting that into the UI in a way that's kind of.
I did do the UI for that as well.
Oh, you did? Okay, nice. But yeah, there's a handful of Hadi like user experiences that we're a little bit stuck with that we could use some of your help with. Maybe
yeah, sure.
Do you feel
Yeah.
comfortable with the chat agent that Ombuj was working on?
It doesn't matter if I'm comfortable or not. Well, I will like as much as I can. I will investigate.
Okay, beautiful. We okay, beautiful. Thank you once again for saving us, Hadi. Last but not least, Tatevik.
Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. So I have pushed 2 updates, both are bugs. One is about the Shiny Dashboard UI. It was reported in the hunting channel that one of the clients ran an experiment and not all their traits were showing, and I had a feeling that it has something to do with me. So one thing I don't like about Shiny, it has a scrolling limit. So what I do, I manually add space at the bottom so I can show all the trait graphs. So I added more space. It will work for now. Then the estimation issue. I had this experiment level text which said the product costs, I don't know, $5 for a pack of 12, and it was a continuous variable, so I had to replace the number with the range. But because there were like 2 numbers, there was like $5 and a 12. Initially, I had trouble like identifying which one should be replaced, so I added the code there, which will like handle that. So it's both in dev. One thing I failed at is the following. There was another issue in the hunting channel which said that if the level text was too long, the AMC graph was moved to the right and like not all the information was shown. So I tried to cut it into multiple lines, but in Vega it doesn't work. So currently I'm looking for an alternative solution to handle that.
Very nice. And do you feel ready to integrate the latent variables and the concept testing work? Or do you think that's going to be, Subodh, is that going to be a different analytics
Concept
experience?
testing, concept testing is all front end. So even the analytics page for that is already done by Tushar. He had shown me. So Tatwik doesn't need to do anything. For latent variable, I think Tatwik, you will just get them as additional trait variables. And yeah, you just have, it just gets appended.
Maybe another spider chart. It's persona traits, right? That's how we're representing them. Yeah. Okay, guys. Who has a demo? I'm sorry, we're 15 minutes over. Demo? Chin, you got a demo for us? Florian?
It's in a different branch.
Different branch?
I mean, and I have a bunch. Okay, let me try to get some.
Joaquin, you got a demo for us? Madi? Pablo, do you want to demo your new go-to-market slides?
I
Madi?
can demo.
Let's do it.
I can have a quick demo. Okay, let me know when.
Yep, we see it.
Okay. So yeah, now we were able to access the deployment using this link or domain that AWS gives us. So I solved the networking issue, and now it's up and running here. This is the dev, the branch. So yeah, this is here working, and currently having some issue with the CI/CD pipeline. This one, although it says it's working, but there are some issues. So working on the CI/CD currently.
Great work, Monty. That's excellent. And do you have an ETA on migrating dev to AWS?
Just so I honestly can't say the specific ETA because there might some issues happen along the way because there are two other apps and then the CI/CD also. So the service between GCP and AWS are a bit different. So it is. Yeah.
I see. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but Rehoboam is in AWS and trying to make the CI/CD working so we can push and the change effects take effect on the AWS also.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Does anyone else have something they would like to demo? Pablo, you want to do your slides? You want to do you want to do them Friday? I think we're kind of far over.
Yeah, Friday.
So, all right, we'll do it Friday. All right, guys, everyone prepare a demo for Friday. nice work. Happy Wednesday, Chin. Let's meet up afterwards with Florian. Hadi, we need your help with the UI, and let's work together. Let's work together. Let's make a really nice customer experience.